Hi, and welcome to my channel Crossing Cat. My name is Julia, and today I'm going to be doing a Sims challenge in Animal Crossing. So lately I've been watching a lot of Little Simsy here on YouTube, and she's done the Every Room a Different Color challenge a couple of times, so I wanted to try that in Animal Crossing. Now, I'm sitting in my house on November, and as you can see, I've already decorated it. So I'm going to be doing this challenge in Happy Home Paradise, but you don't have to do it in Happy Home Paradise. You could do this in your own house on your island or even on Harv's Island. Now, this challenge is normally done by using some sort of color randomizer that picks the color of the room, and everything in the room has to be that color. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently just because I'm doing it in a Happy Home Paradise. So I'm going to let the color of the villager, or one of the colors on the villager, determine the color of their room. So for example, if I found Henry on my beach and I decided to make a room for him, it would be a green room since he is green. Without further ado, let's head over to Paradise Planning. Now, when I first set out to do this, I was kind of concerned that I would end up with no good villagers to do this, but I ended up with an absolutely perfect choice. Pinky was on my beach, and what's better than having a villager with a color for a name, so I decided to start out with her. Also, I know that there are a lot of pink items in the game, and I thought it would be great to start out with a nice, easy pink villager. You know, just to start off with something that I know I can do. I did go ahead and decorate her front yard just so she had some stuff out here and it wasn't completely barren, but I just added a whole bunch of flowers and some decorated trees. And now to get started on the inside, I was really excited. I put all of her required items outside because I know these don't have pink customizations. Also, I think they worked really well with the outside of her house. So for Pinky's room, I wanted to do a little bit of a gaming setup or a streaming setup because I know those super cute gaming desks are in this game and they're pink, so I really wanted to use one of those. There are also a whole bunch of other cutesy items that I've been dying to use that I can't use on November because that island theme is overgrown and very natural, and the items I'm going to be using in this build are not overgrown or natural. So I really haven't had the opportunity to use any of these items, and I think they're super cute. Something I wasn't expecting about this challenge was that it was really hard to pick the wallpaper and flooring, just because they had to be the color that I was working with. Like in this room, I had to choose a wallpaper and a flooring that was mostly pink rather than choosing a neutral. Just to offset all of the pink in the room, my brain just wanted to make it like white walls or wooden walls or something like that, something to offset all the pink. But that is not what this challenge is, so I'm going to make everything pink just to stay on challenge. But my brain was definitely fighting me on that. So right now in the room, I am putting down some tassels to put on the edge of the rug, and I really like adding this detail because if rugs are not the size that you want them to be, like if they're just a little bit too small, you can add these tassels that are custom designs and it makes it look like they're attached to the rug and the rug's a little bit bigger. I like to do this on my own house on November, and I do think that it fits into the challenge because the rug is pink. The tassels aren't pink, but the rug is pink, and the tassels are part of the rug. So I'm gonna say that it fits in with this challenge. I was so disappointed to find out that I don't have any of the smaller bears in pink unlocked in the DLC, so I wanted to use a whole bunch of bears to make it kind of like a plushie room, but I did not have that option. I still used the plushie shelves that I had available, also the wall hanging plushies that I had. It just wasn't what I had in mind initially because I wanted to put like a lot of teddy bears everywhere and stuff like that, but that wasn't the option I was given. Right now I'm creating what I think would be a pretty cute background to have in videos. If I had my own face cam, I might have a cute little background like this. I think if I was gonna go for one color, I would probably go for an all blue background rather than a pink background, but obviously Pinky has different opinions. And also, I really love putting those curtains, I think they're called the curtain partitions, and then opening them just so you can see the window, because we don't have curtain items in the game, and also, it just really helps make the room look a little bit more finished. I know that some of the wallpapers come with curtains already attached to them, but they're not nearly as dramatic as I would hope they would be. For some reason in this build, I definitely struggled with choosing which couch I wanted. I think that's partially because there are so many pink couch options and so many different customizations, but in the end I went with the Moroccan couch. Let's talk about the color pink for a second. Now, I'm doing an entirely pink room, and I like the color pink okay. It's definitely not my favorite color. My favorite color would be green, but I feel like for a long time I would have said I didn't like pink just because it was pink, and that's stereotypically girly. I think people need to stop hating on pink just because it's pink, because it's actually a very cute color. Back to what I'm doing in the room. I am currently hanging the little stuffed animal shelves on the wall, and I found that if you put them low enough, they kind of look like they're sitting on top of the other shelves. So I think that's super cute. Also, I've really found that I like putting a lot of stuff on the walls. I think that it adds a lot of good detail to the build, especially if you're not really vibing with what you have. Wall decorations can really change the look of the space. Just like when I was doing this build, I found that using the wall-mounted neon lights lined up at the top really makes it look like there are LED lights, and I really love that look. Also, what gaming room is complete without LED lights across the top? I feel like in this day and age, LED lights are a requirement for gaming rooms. So I was definitely excited to see that we have an item that we can use to recreate that look. Now I'm just gonna add some last-minute cutesy designs to the wall. I know that the game generates a reveal for the room, but I also wanted to add some of my own clips, so if you're wondering why I get some clips that the game doesn't give you, I did some of my own shots and mixed them in. So here is the reveal. So now that the first room is done, I'm going to talk to Pinky real quick, and then we're going to head back to Paradise Planning. Alright, and now I am back to pick another villager, and I really debated which villagers I wanted to do for this, but I decided to go with Rooney. He is a blue kangaroo, and so cute. He does look like he would box, and that's perfect for a kangaroo. I also really like how his design makes him look like he's wearing little shoes, even though none of the villagers are wearing shoes. So this is the little plot that I chose for him, and this is how I decorated it. I put all of his boxing stuff outside. I thought that maybe if all of his training stuff was outside, that could enhance his training a little bit, training in the heat to make it a little bit harder for him. And I actually struggled a lot with this build. So I started out and I wanted to make some sort of locker room for him. This is what I ended up making, and then I decided I just didn't like it all that much. I had some bathroom stalls and some tubs and some sinks in the background, but it was off-centered and it was really messing with my head. So I decided to just start over, and I really wanted to include this all in so I could show that I didn't stick with my first idea, and that it's okay to start over if you're not liking what you're building. So my second idea for this build was to make like a bedroom-bathroom combination, like a nice relaxing place so he could go work out outside and then come in to relax. And I did like that idea a lot more. I'm really happy with the decision to start over. Looking back at the other build though, I don't think that it was actually as bad as I was thinking it was, so maybe I should have just stuck with that, but anyways, I like the way that this one turns out, so it worked out for the best. So right now I am placing a partition wall to separate the bathroom area from the bedroom area, and I decided to make this wall so that you could see everything from the front door rather than cutting off a part of it so that I could get cool shots of the whole room, including all of the items. I know that that may not be the best idea for a bathroom because generally you want to have everything like hidden because it's a bathroom, you want your privacy and you want your villagers to have privacy too. But since this is his own home and he's the only one living here, I figured it would be fine to give him a totally open bathroom space. In the bathroom space, I decided to use the vintage wall shelf with bottles, and technically that is not a blue item. And I remember thinking about this while doing the build, and I really think that it has enough blue bottles on it to be considered blue, but I wasn't exactly sure, and I'm still not exactly sure, so let me know what you think about that. I'm not sure if it should count in this challenge. I really am trying my best here not to cheat on anything, but let me know if you think I did. I am just adding some other wall hanging items. I really like adding wall hanging items. I feel like they really make the room look a little bit more finished. I also really like adding items that are tall, like the pillars and the wooden partitions. I feel like if you can have an item that draws your eye up, it makes the ceilings look a little bit taller. In this game, we can't make the ceilings any taller, but they're already pretty tall naturally. So I like to draw attention to the height of the ceilings. I am a big fan of tall ceilings in real life. I feel like they make places look a little bit more grand and light and airy. So I really like to add those types of items in. Fun fact, when me and my boyfriend moved into our first apartment, we had really tall ceilings in that apartment, and we hadn't quite accumulated enough furniture to fill up the apartment. And we didn't have any area rugs either, so it was just really echoey for a long time. Now we've accumulated a little bit more furniture, so it's not as bad, but it was pretty bad there for a second. Another thing that I really like to do in builds is have two of the same frame item and then change out the picture in one of them to make it different, so it looks like you have like a set of frames and a set of pictures, but it's really just the same frame with a different picture inside. And I think it looks very nice because it gives you some level of coordination in the build. I really wanted to use the cloud flooring in this build to kind of make it look like the tub was overflowing with steam, like someone was about to take a really, really hot bath, but it just wasn't working for me, so I changed it out to the floral flooring because I feel like it fits with the beachy theme just a little bit better. Technically, this color of the flooring is called green, but I feel like it's more of a teal than a green, and I decided to go for it anyways. And now it is time for the reveal. Just in case you are wondering, I did go in and re-filmed the reveal with a blue light on, so if the lighting looks different in the reveal than it does right now, that is why. But it seems like Rooney is pretty happy with his room, so we're gonna head back to Paradise Planning. Alright, it is time to choose another villager. I really thought I was gonna do Goldie's room, but instead I ended up going for Queenie. And I bet you can guess I am gonna make a purple room for her. My hair is currently mostly purple, so I feel like we've kind of got a connection going with the purple hair thing. I always feel some sort of connection with other people with colored hair, so we've got the same thing going on. So this is the plot I ended up choosing for her. I really like the view off of this plot. It looks really nice. And this is what I decided to do for the design. Nothing too complicated, and I put most of her required items outside except for the couch because I cannot bring myself to put a couch outside. Just doesn't work for me. It does say remodel plan on the left side, and that is because I did the outside and then came back later to do the inside. But Queenie's original plan for this was contrast courtyard, and most of her recommended items are black or white, you know, to create big contrasts. What two colors are further away from each other than black and white, which makes sense. But I decided to give her an entirely purple room, and I don't know if that's cruel because there's almost no contrast. I mean, there are different shades of purple, but I don't know if that's really a lot of contrast. Definitely not a contrast courtyard, but yeah, I don't know if that's cruel to give her something she wasn't asking for, but she's purple, so I feel like she likes the color purple. At at the very least, maybe she doesn't want a black and white house. Maybe I found the hidden thing that she wanted that she didn't know she wanted. You know? You don't get what you want, you get what you need. And maybe she just needed to accept the fact that she's purple. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But she's definitely getting a purple room from me. But in the end, she does say she likes it, so I guess it works out. For this build, I feel like it's important to note that, like I said, I did the outside and then I logged off and didn't play for the rest of the day. And in that time, I ended up looking up, like I just Googled purple items in the game. And from there, I just picked out the items that I knew I would want to use. I didn't end up using all of them, but that was definitely a significant help to this build. So back to what I'm doing in the build, I am again using the curtain partition little trick, but instead I am not opening the curtains because I am using one of the designs that you get from Sable when you talk to her, so it doesn't have built-in windows, and I wanted it to look like it did, so I put the curtains in front of just the blank walls to kind of add some detail to the walls since they're just completely solid in that design. Now I am just adding the same stuffed animals that I added in the first room I made, and I noticed that this one has a little cute eye patch over the bunny's eye, and I didn't notice that on any of the other customizations. I think that's super cute. And there's astonishingly low amounts of wall hanging objects for purple, so I decided to use the same lights that I used in the first build as well, but I'm using them in a little bit of a different way, so I feel like it's different enough. The pictures I have on the wall are also designs that I got from Sable, and you can just put them on a canvas on your wall as well, and I think they add very great details. Again, there aren't very many purple wall hanging objects. I also reused the neon wall hang lamps in a purple color to kind of create a trim around the room. Again, because this is a custom design and not a wallpaper, it doesn't come with any trim or anything like that, so I wanted to add some trim and I used those lamps to do it. And just to bring up the issue with the couches, I know that the one that is required for this does not come in a purple customization, so I just ended up putting a black couch in the build, and the one opposite that on the right side is actually a brown customization. But it looks purple to me, so I'm gonna say that it works. So there's my little tiny justification, and here's the reveal. And there we have it, another completed room. And see, she likes it even though there isn't any contrast in it. So it ended up working out. And now we are gonna head back to Paradise Planning and pick out our last villager. I really did have a hard time picking out villagers, but I ended up going with Paolo. And I realized just now in the editing process that I chose Paolo to do an orange kitchen because his want is a kitchen, and he has the little orange tip of his nose. But there's an orange monkey that is way more orange than him right next to him. I'm not sure of that villager's name, but maybe I made a mistake there, but he has orange on him, so I'm gonna count it. And you know, now that I think about it, Rudolph is pretty much entirely identified by the color of his nose, like the tip of his nose, so this is the same thing. And here's the outside of the house. Sorry, I went on a tangent. So I really wanted to do a very bright color for the kitchen. For example, I'd already made a kitchen on my channel for the restaurant in Happy Home Paradise. I'll have that link down below if you'd like to watch it. But I did a yellow kitchen in that one, and I just really like the idea of really bright kitchens. However, I did struggle in finding foods that weren't like orange the fruit related to put in the kitchen, so this is just a very fruit forward kitchen. But that's okay because I happen to really like fruits. I have to hold myself back from buying cuties at the store because they come in such big bags that I can never make it through a whole bag by the time they go bad. I have bought them before and made myself sick because I ate too many oranges in a short amount of time, and that's just not a good idea. I don't recommend it at all. Back to what I'm doing in the build, I decided to use the ironwood furniture in the teak customization because those look very orange to me. I've tried to put them on my island multiple times and then taken them down just because they look way too orange to me. And a lot of the wood tones in this game appear to be orange to me, so I did use a lot of the red tones of wood because those look orange to me. And I know that they are not labeled orange in the game, and I feel like some people might consider that cheating, but they are literally orange in my eyes. Like, if someone asked me what color redwood was, I would say orange. So maybe I'm just like slightly colorblind or something, but I'm going to count them as orange. So now that I've got that tiny little disclaimer out of the way, I did decide to put a whole bunch of clocks in the kitchen, as if you could time things on the clock, like maybe you're cooking several things at a time and you need a timer. So I put 3 different clocks in the room. I don't know if these clocks have timers, but let's just imagine that they do. And if you look at the left there, I do have the shelf with bottles on it in the room, and I do decide to remove that later because it doesn't have enough orange on it. So do not worry, I did not leave that one in the build. Right now in the build, I am just adding some rugs to the floor, and I feel like this is a pretty common tip, but I always enjoy using area rugs to separate the different sections of the room. Like right now I'm putting one under the island, and there's one under the table to separate the areas just a little bit, and I really like doing that in a lot of my builds. Again, I am just adding some last minute wall decorations. Those are the savior of all of my interior builds or interior designs. And I really wish we could hang wall items off the sides of cliffs. I really thought that they might add that in the update, but that's just not one of the things that got added. It's okay, it's just one of the things that I wish we had in this game. Now we are about ready for the reveal. Let's go talk to Paolo and see what he has to say about his new kitchen. Alright, it looks like Paolo is really enjoying his new kitchen, so I am gonna head back to Paradise Planning. I think this challenge is really fun. I think it's really great if you're trying to learn about the different customizations and different colorways of objects in the game, and I think it could be really helpful if you're just starting out. Again, it might be a little bit harder if you're just starting out because you won't have as many items, but of course that is up to you to decide. Definitely tag me if you try to do this on your own. My Instagram is @CrossingCat, and I'll also have it linked below. I'll also link below one of Simsy's videos since I got this idea from her. I don't believe she's the creator of this challenge, but I just got the idea from watching her videos, so I want to give her a little bit of credit for that. I would appreciate it if you liked this video, and subscribe to my channel if you would like. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.